property. But we're going to spend time today on auctions. So push next. And then what you do is you come to the section that says create a new item. And we want to enter a title. We want to make sure we enter a good title. So let's talk just for a minute about what makes a good title. Remember that eBay buyers are looking for their item in two ways, and they're listed on this page. Enter an item title and enter a category. So the first thing we want to do is pick a title that will be good. The way that you're going to decide is if you are using keywords for your category. You do not want to enter something that is like an adjective. You don't want to say great, awesome CD by George Strait. Because how many people are going to type in great, awesome CD by George Strait? They're just going to type in George Strait or the title to the song. Or if they're looking for a DVD, they probably type in the movie, the title of it. If they were typing in an antique and they were looking for dishes, they would type in that type of dishes. So your item title are the keywords that someone would search on to find your item. If you're listing books, movies, or music, then you would probably want to list the title, the author, tell whether it's new. You could use HB or PB, HB for hardback, PB for paperback. You might want to include the topic. If it's an antique or vintage book, you might want to write that. So you would include all the words that you can think of that someone would use to find that item. Now what you need to realize is there is a limited number of characters that you can put right here. You can't just go on. And if you do, then you would need to go to subtitle. And I don't use subtitle very often. What I would do is pick the words that I think would sell this item the best by those are the words that people are searching on. Let me just compare it. If I were working on a website, I would consider this my headline. This is the thing that people are going to see first. It's going to get their attention, and I want them to move on. Do not want to waste it on adjectives like cool, awesome, and fantastic. We want to save that for our description. The description is where I'm trying to sell them on that item. The title is where I'm trying to get them to click through and see what I have to sell. Don't waste your space on things that are unnecessary. Especially don't waste your space on things like this. How many of you have seen little stars there? Or here's another one. Look. Those are things. How many people type those into their search? No one's going to type that into their keyword research or keyword looking for. All right. So what you want to do is use good keywords that are searchable words. So what I've got is I have 4 cassettes by Vision Forum. 2 of them are by Douglas Phillips and 2 are by other authors. They are very family oriented. They are homeschool oriented. One is a history tape as well. So what I'm going to do is type in Vision Forum cassettes, or maybe I'll do this. How about 4 cassettes? I do think it's important that you vary your capitals and your small letters because a capital will make someone sort of see that word. If I used all capitals, it would be like shouting to someone. So I don't want to use all capitals. So I have that. And then I tend to use hyphens a lot because it only takes 1 space for a hyphen. And I can start writing the name of the author. If I used a comma, let me show you the difference. And erase that hyphen, I would use a comma and a space. And then I would write it. So that's 2 characters, a comma and a space. So I tend to use hyphens a little more often. So I'd write Doug Phillips, and I want to spell it correctly. All of these are new. And they all have to do with, they're trying to encourage people in with their family. So I might write family or family series. Nope, that's not going to fit. So we'll just leave it at family. All right. Move on. Let's review a little bit about titles for eBay products. Remember, this is your headline. This is the most important part of your sales copy. If you spend more time on this than anything else, then you're doing the right thing. This is what will get people to come to your auction. When you're writing a title, you want to be sure you use keywords. You want to be sure you use searchable words. Don't use adjectives. If you're using a book, a movie, a title, music, and so forth, if it has a title, put the title or the author, the singer, the topic. You could even put the publisher. You also would maybe want to include if it's antique or vintage and look at the difference between them. I don't have this written down, but I think vintage is anything before 1970 and antique would be further back. If you're going to use those words, know what they mean, because the people searching on eBay for these items know what they mean. Use the word new or used or mint. If something is antique but it's in mint condition, be sure to include that. Or even if it's vintage, if it's in good condition, be sure you include that. If you're selling products such as electronics or practically anything that has a brand name, use the brand name. Put the name of that item and the brand name, like we were using the cell phones or the cameras. Put that brand name, because if I'm looking for a Canon camera, I'm going to put Canon and a number next to it. And so hopefully anything with Canon will show up and I can be a little bit closer to someone finding me if I use that brand name. If it is sealed, if it's new and it's sealed and packaged like my cassettes are, I want to include that as well if I can in my title. If I run out of spaces for any of these, I can include them in the description.